Human chimeras living among us, it's only science fiction for right now. Yesterday, the Senate passed the Endless Frontier Act, a bill that commits nearly $250 billion to promote emerging technologies so that America can keep pace with Chinese innovation. Back in May, Democrats shot down an important amendment outlawing U.S. participation in research that would create human-animal hybrids, also known as chimeras. China's already doing it, announcing in April that an international team successfully grew human monkey embryos and sustained them for 20 days in a lab. The only question is, what will they do next? Currently, the National Institutes of Health has banned U.S. funding for chimeric research, but that ban could very well be lifted. And who's to say that these agencies will play by the rules anyway? Remember, President Obama banned funding for gain-of-function research back in 2014, but New York AD found a way around it. They laundered, it's the NIAID group, and they laundered hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Wuhan Institute of Virology through a nonprofit group called the Eco Health Alliance. The rest is history. Chimeric research is a Pandora's box, that's obviously from hell, that should not be opened. But the scientific community, spurred on by their own hubris, may very well open it using American taxpayer dollars. And if that happens, the Democrats will have blood on their hands for not joining the GOP and stopping it when they had a chance. Joining me now for reaction, I don't even believe, Lara Logan, here we are. It's the 21st century. We're two very smart women. We have to talk about chimeras and how maybe the government might do it. You've been very involved in your research and stories and coverage on certainly COVID, what's been happening there. Give me your take on the seriousness of this. China's doing it and what we have to be aware of.
You know, Tammy, one of the things that strikes me the most about this story is there's an old adage, you know, be careful of what you don't know. And that has never been more true than with this subject. What exactly do we not know here about how far, what is the level of involvement the U.S. has had in any kind of research like this? And what else has the NIH and other divisions of the NIH been involved in? Because when it comes to Dr. Fauci and what we know about COVID, we're just beginning to find out, right? We're at the tip of the iceberg in terms of uncovering what was really going on with gain-of-function research. And the whole sort of smokescreen of the Wuhan lab really obscures the fact that Dr. Fauci and the NIH through NIAID had been funding gain-of-function research for years. And there's a lot of money that's missing here. And there's another U.S. agency that's missing from this equation. It's called DARPA, you know, which is the Defense Research Agency. So what were DARPA and Dr. Fauci and the NIH doing with gain-of-function and various other programs like this one, which we know so little about? And this is really the moment now for a reckoning. This is time for the American people to start paying attention to these bills that pass through Congress, that get banned, that get unbanned, that get circumvented, and for us to start asking for real accountability. Because what we've seen is that the coronavirus, you know, that spread all over the world and caused such panic and still causes such hysteria in so many quarters. Well, you just speak to someone like an oncologist who deals with bone marrow cancer. They'll tell you that they've been identifying hundreds of coronaviruses for years and years. And so this is one of many subjects that we know very, very little about. And every day that goes by, we get the stench of manipulation and dishonesty is growing stronger.
You know, and I think this is part of what allows us to find this information out. You know, there's the theory that ignorance is bliss, right? And yes, not being aware of things is kind of peaceful. But the fact of the matter is, these things happen anyway. And this particular bill, and this is what Congress tends to do, was about trying to, you know, keep up with China. But then it became a Christmas tree. There was like over 200 amendments. And all the lobbyists got in because, of course, it's going to have to pass. So get in whatever it is you want. And this is what they do without any consideration about the impact on the average person. You know, COVID is one thing, right? Mass death. Here you're talking about changing the nature of life. And this is what, of course, is so shocking to me. We got just a couple of seconds left, but this is a real game changer.
It is. And you know what's so interesting about it to me, Tammy? I'm not particularly religious, but what it keeps reminding you of, we can create robots that mimic humans. Now we want to take animals and humans and blend them. And we also want to take meat and we want to grow some version of food in a laboratory from the cells of meat. But you know what we can't do? We can't create life. We as human beings don't create life, and no amount of ingenuity and science is going to change that.
And the things that we do, Laura, thank you so much. This is the kind of things that get you karmically, and we've got to stand up for ourselves for everything that comes up in the future.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.